Hi, you are listening to the General Conversation Podcast. I am Valerie.
And I'm Cord.
You can follow us on our social media, on Twitter, Instagram, and of course YouTube. And we have merchandise on Teesprings where you can browse it at your leisure. The word that I have today for you guys is obligate. It's a verb where it says bind or compel someone, especially legally or morally. It also can be used as an adjective. In biology, it states restricted to a particular function or mode of life. And the sentence they used is an obligate intracellular parasite. I think the key word I got out of that sentence was parasite, and I thought about obligations. And so that's just one of those words I want to bring to the forefront of our conversation for today.
All right. And I'd like to get right to it. Today's topic is going to be, when do you back someone up? And one of the points or bullet points that I did have was, when is it okay to go to bat for someone? When do you take up for someone, and do you back someone up, even family, when they're in the wrong? Because, sometimes we had a situation where, your boy, he was a little doing, he was messy, and now you're in a situation where if you don't back him up, you looked at it as like, you bailed on him. If you do back him up, y'all in trouble. Well, he was in the wrong anyway. So how do you distinguish, when do you back your boy up? How can you prevent those kind of problems?
I would say for me, when do you back someone up? To answer your first question, I think you back someone up when they're right, like point blank, period. If the person is right, they don't even have to be your friend or whatever. It could just be a situation that you're in line. You could be in line and see something going on at a grocery store or something, and you intervene and just say, hey, that's not right. Or let's say you see some people getting into it and whoever's in the wrong, and you could just say, hey, listen, you just kind of intervene in that kind of situation and have someone's back in that sense. Now, I know when it comes to family, backing someone up, it seems like you're obligated to. Right, see what I'm saying?
Right,
obligated. You're obligated to back them up, whether they're right, wrong, and different. And so what I say to that is, I'm not gonna lie. I come from a close knit family, and I kind of do feel like that. I have a tendency when they're wrong that I back them up. But when I get in a car with them or somewhere, like when it's just the person and I, whoever is wrong or whatever the conversation,
okay,
I'm going to pull them to the side like, now, you was wrong for that. Now, I couldn't let them know that I knew you was wrong, but I'm going to let you know you was wrong for that and that you need to change that.
We got two black eyes because of you.
Right. No, we're not getting no black eyes. We're not getting no black eyes now. We're not doing no violence or anything. But honestly, I think it just depends on, like, the situation, I'm going to bring this out there. I have some friends that are teachers, and I know they talk about all the time that they always talk about when their kids are doing wrong, and like the parent always thinks it's never the kid. And I think, you know your kid true enough, but then sometimes that like it's, they're watching what 12, 20 kids out the day, and sometimes, kids get restless and things happen. To always think that the kid never does something wrong, even though it's your kid, i.e. family, you might want to peel your kids to the side, or you know how your kid is when they're with you. I think it's no different than, kind of knowing your spouse or your friend or your brother or sister. You know them because you're with them, they're inside your home, or you live with them, or whatever the case may be, you know them. And so, I understand not putting anyone on blast, but I really will not back you up to the fact where I know you're wrong. I'm going to let you know, like, you know what, that's not right. And I'm not going to have you out here looking crazy. And I don't want you to think that I got your back on every term. And what I mean by that, when you're wrong. Like, I'm not going to think that it's okay if you're getting into it with your manager and you're like, oh yeah, I slapped my manager and walked out. I'm like, well, nah, you could just have walked out and not slapped him. Like, on that part, you was wrong. The manager telling you, you get into it with your manager. It's the way you can handle things. Because then the person probably would think, well, no matter what I do, whether it's a kid, your spouse, whoever, no matter what I do, my family member have my back, and I could do whatever. And then a lot of people go into the world with that mentality, and when things don't work like that, or they come across authority figures or police officers, they wondering why situations not going right. Or they come across teachers that are like there's no nonsense teachers. They're wondering why. Well, why is this like the world doesn't work like that? Now, I don't never want any of my family members or my friends to feel like I'm not rooting for them, but I think pretty much they already know my sentiment of, I am for you. That's why I'm gonna tell you when you're wrong too. I might not put you on blast in front of everybody because they might be doing too much. But I'm gonna tell you you're wrong, and like, look, even though I didn't say nothing, you might need to go back and apologize to this person or rectify that situation. So that's how I feel about that situation. What about you?
My biggest thing is with that is don't call me on no bull. Like, if you knew you was wrong, and
but what if they don't know they're wrong though? Some people don't think.
I would to see the situation is first. I honestly say that because if somebody like, yo man, so and so did this and I did this and yada yada, I gotta look at the situation first before I just jump right into it. If we on the spot, that's kind of hard to scheme to.
So if you're on the spot with a friend, let's say you're at a gas station or something, and then your friend gets into it, like, okay, this happens a lot. So let's say you're at a gas station, you're trying to go into a pump, and then somebody else is trying to go into a pump. What would you do in that situation? Let's say the other person was there first, and then your friend that you're in the car with, like, oh, I'm gonna take this. I'm already on this side. What would you do in that situation? Like if they just took.
Well, like if he get it and the other person let it go, or it's like, dude,
What if that other person don't let it go?
Then I'm like, dude, you was wrong. I'm gonna have to tell me you was wrong because.
Are you gonna tell them in front of the person, or are you gonna wait till you get?
I'll probably pull him to the side.
Yeah.
Because where I figure the situation, we're in the car anyway. So if you're like, man, why she? I'm like, dude, she was there first. Let's not go that route. Don't
some people are crazy. They'll get out the car and be like, I was coming for that gas pump.
He gonna look in that car and I'm be gone. No, I'm not for no unwanted BS, man. Don't drag me in a situation where you fucking up. Right. I mean, you messing up.
But I think at the same time too, I think sometimes people don't even know when they're messing up. I think that they kind of just like, I think they think that, I don't know, some people think that they don't have issues, like that's not an issue. Like, oh, I don't see no problem. I mean, it's been several times where I've talked to people and they telling me a story and I'm like, you did what? And they're like, yeah.
You know it's your fault, right?
Right. No, I didn't even say that. I just was like shocked. And I'm like, wow, what's wrong with that? And I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, how are we friends?
I will have to distance myself from people like that, I think.
No, because I just think sometimes if you don't know, you can't improve. You don't know. It is what it is. Or let's say everybody in your family is kind of like, yeah, we all of us do that. Like, that's not an issue for us. I don't think you just should just like, okay, damn, I'm done with you. But yeah. Some people just don't know. They don't know.
I ain't saying I'm done, but I might not answer the phone as much. You know what I'm saying? like, you want to go out? Nah, dog. I gotta go paint these walls.
Oh, wow. Look, didn't they know you full of crap?
Yeah, right. I gotta do this homework, whatever the case may be, man. I think. I guess now one of my other questions will be: to what extent do you back? So what is your limitation on backing someone up? You know what I'm saying? How far would you go? How far would you?
That's a good question.
Would you ride with them?
Oh goodness.
Air quotes. Air quotes.
For me, right? He's definitely doing air quotes. For me, I'm not going to jail with you. So, like, I got you to a point. I got you. But here's the thing: if we get to the point where we start talking like criminally and like legally, we might have to reevaluate what it is that's going on.
Get strapped.
I'm just like, look. You can call it scary, you can call it whatever. It's just some things I'm not into, and I'm like, look, who's going to come visit? Who? And I can't. I don't know what you listen. I don't do all of that. But I mean, I would hope that other than that, I would try to look. I try to be there for the person that I'm friends with, cool with, family, especially family. Friends and stuff, as much as I can be. But here's the thing: at some point, if it's going to the point where it's getting too strenuous, I would hope that you would at some point have a light bulb going off in your head, like, you know what, maybe I need to just reevaluate what's going on because this is going too crazy. It's okay to pull back and, do, I don't know. I'm not trying to get into trouble like that. I'm not trying to get into trouble, with you like that. But here's the thing: I'm not asking anybody to do the same thing for me. Like if I'm doing wrong, look, I probably won't even call nobody if I'm gonna do wrong by myself. I get in trouble by myself.
Right.
Look, I'm holding myself accountable, and I think at the end of the day, maybe that's what you're asking, like the accountability part.
Right.
I can hold myself accountable, and I'm gonna hold you to that. And I think I'm very aware of that kind of situation. At least I try to be. Let me know. Like and then too, I think you can't be mad at someone who like calls you on like, hey, I didn't agree with that, or well, look, you on your own with that one. Like I can't, I got kids, or I got a life, or I got a job.
Right.
Like you don't be selfish with it. But I'm willing to do as much as I can and try to rectify the situation with you. But I'm not trying to like alter my whole lifestyle or alter my life because you making decisions that I'm always, it's a maturity thing. You got to kind of realize like, hey, this is not.
Is it worth it?
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, is it worth it?
At the end of the day,
the police getting involved. If he goes the route of the police getting involved, things like, is it really worth that? You know what I'm saying? Because like I'm not the one. I'll go hard for you if it's worth the effort.
Yeah.
If we doing something, I ain't talking about not just on illegal things. I'm just talking about in general. If we doing something that, I'm trying to think of a situation where it would get that far, and I really can't think of not my realm of friends, so to speak. I've never been in a situation where it got to the point where the police had to be called.
But I would say it goes vice versa too, because I've been in situations where I felt for my friends and felt like they were being slighted, and I was going harder than them, and I was like, I can't believe the audacity. Like I was ready to write whoever I needed to write, contact whoever I needed to, like where we gotta roll up to, not to get in trouble. Nothing,
very professional,
whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Like I know write whoever I need to write to. Right. Where I gotta get my red pen out and start writing the caps, right? Or my email, write my emails out and put them in bold.
Caps lock the mess out of this email, boy. You what?
You better be ready. But and some of my friends was like, nah, and that's when you have to be like, okay, if they not really stressing about it, and let me pull back because it's not that serious. Like just because I feel slighted don't mean they feel some kind of way. So, like I said, I think it's a maturity level that deals with it. I think that it's just one of those situations where you gotta assess everything differently. You can't say, okay, I'm going to do this for every single thing. I think you just assess each situation differently and see how it applies to you and kind of how your friend or your family member or whoever you're riding for feel in that situation.
Now, and I know we kind of touched on this before, kind of like a while ago. So let's say you're in the moment, right, and whoever you're around, who you're with, is acting a fool. And how would you approach them? How do you pull them and be like, how do you rectify that situation?
So explain a little bit. So I think, so what he was, okay, so this is what he asked me. He said that, say you were out with a friend or whatever, and it don't even have to be like a boyfriend, but like you're out with a friend, and they're just acting like belligerent and just being kind of like an asshole, and it's front of people. And I guess he was kind of saying it more if like you was a woman and like he's like, you're doing this to a man. And so, me and the egos and all that. So, how would you approach that? So when he asked me, he was like, he gave me, I think, not different scenarios, but like, would you do A or B or C? So maybe they is scenarios. He gave me different situations. There you go. And he was like, would you pull him to the side or would you tell him in front of everybody, like, hey, you messing up? And honestly, I was like, listen, I'm not into, even if you're not my friend, I'm not into embarrassing people. I know that's kind of some culture that we live in a lot of time. Like I said in the past episode, and you can go watch that in the first one, where we have this whole, let me shade you, let me throw you under the bus, let me kind of for kicks and giggles, like let me show you about yourself. Listen, we all have moments where we're not at our best. I don't need you to put me on Front Street and air out my business, or if I'm done drunk a little too much, or you know what I'm saying, I'm feeling the kind of way, I'm in my feelings. I don't need you to do that. If you're my friend, you can be like, okay, Valerie, you can put me to the side and be like, look, you was kind of on one. So when he told me about that situation, I told him that I would pull my friend to the side, whether it's a guy or a girl, I'll pull my friend to the side and be like, look, you tripping. Like, calm down. It's not that serious. And that's just how I feel. And I've been in a situation like that before. And I'm like, hey, like, shh. Like, and it's kind of like, I'm not trying to embarrass my friend, even though they're embarrassing. Like, I feel like, I'm saying, you watch out for your friends. You look out for your people you with, and that's how it should be. Everybody, I'm not saying that, like I said, everybody have moments where they're not their best, and they might be going through something. Things might have took a little left turn or something, and people like, okay, I need to go out and vent or release some stress, and then they might, turn up a little too much, and then you gotta say, all right, well, we're gonna pull it back because you do a little too much, and I think that's okay. But you don't have to make a spectacle about it. Even if they're making themselves look crazy, you don't have to make a spectacle about that.
I agree with you on that. I think put them to the side before the situation escalates is probably the best thing you can do. And honestly, I'll let you know ahead of time. Like, listen, dude, you messing up. Now you take this any further, you on your own. Just being real.
Find your own way home. Get your own Uber.
I think it's selfish to drag somebody into some BS when you wrong.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Just because you got attitude
don't
about it.
obligate. Come on, y'all. Don't obligate
me to have your back in a situation when you dead wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think some people they throw the word having your back or loyalty or whatever very loose, like, oh man, you ain't have my back when situation so would have. Well, you shouldn't have slapped the female in the first place.
Right.
If
you going to jail.
Old boy should hit you in the face because you know what I'm saying, you did this and the third. That's why I feel like any of my friends are getting out of hand, out of control, I will put them to the side. But listen, that ain't right. You need to calm down. You need to chill out, and we can talk to each other like that because of the relationship that we have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, or what have you. And I'll let them know ahead of time, like, listen, dude, if you go you act a monkey, you on your own on this. Just being straight up with you. Because, like I said, I ain't catching charge for nobody.
Yeah. I think you just have to, somebody has to have the level head in the situation. Right. So, like I said, and I don't think that's a less of a friend. I know some people like, I'm a ride or die and all this. I'm like, okay. But I don't want to, listen, to be honest, I don't want to.
What we riding for, first of all?
Yeah, I don't want to have to be in a situation like that. I think you should, voice your opinion when something's not right. And then, but like I said, everything, honestly, is in the way that you do it.
All right, we briefly want to touch on one thing. Since we talk about obligation and how do you do when you have someone's back, it kind of goes to, I want to point this more so into your attitude, because you might be on the opposite side of what's happening. So let's say one of your friends come to you and tell you, hey, I say, Valerie, you got a bad temper, or you get mad over paid things, or Valerie, I can't stand when you do this. Valerie, you tell me about the toilet seat one more time. I'm just playing. But, things like that. So how do you, if somebody's pointing out their flaw to you, or somebody, or you realize that you do have a flaw, how do you cope with your flaws? How do you generally change that behavior? Or are you willing to change the behavior? Because some people are like, well, that's the way I am. And to me, if you're doing something to where you're causing people anguish and your response is, that's just the way I am, that's BS. And I probably wouldn't kick it with you no more. Honestly, that's just my opinion. So snap. So it's like, how do you coping with your flaws, and how do you go from there? What are the steps you take to grow from that, Valerie?
Coping with it. Well, first I think, it kind of sounds like those AA meetings.
State your name, your problem.
Right. I don't have, but I do know like they go through steps, kind of like with grief and stuff. And I think first you have to acknowledge that you have a certain issue or whatever, or people are telling you like, hey, and let me just say this. If there's multiple people telling you this and they don't really know each other, it might be you. The common denominator. The common denominator might be you. And so I think you have to acknowledge that. And that's hard for many people to realize, like, it's something I may have to change, especially if it's something that, I don't know, you just used to having. Like, you just like, oh, this is just what I think. And you can go back and listen to the first episode when I stated about habits. Merely, I think it's a habit. If you have something that you want to change, pretty much it's probably just a habit that you've always had, or that you grew to kind of hone on to, and that's just what you do now. And so
would you say attitude is a habit?
I think it can be. Let me tell you why. So let's say a defensive mechanism, like to have a defensive behavior when somebody tell you you're drinking too much. You could be cool, you're the life of the party, but when somebody, hey, Brad, you had too much, you're like, y'all guys already say that. Like if you're getting upset about that, but you cool about everything else, and then you notice that every time you drink, you're getting upset, you might have a drinking problem. I mean, like I said, it's one of them things that you kind of have to self-evaluate yourself. But it's something that different people are to. You're at different parties. If you're Brad and you're at the Christmas office party and you done turned up too many times, you done turned up every year, every 4 years, and then when you go out with your wife or whoever you dating and she telling you drinking too much at the bar, I mean to say, Brad, you might have a drinking party. You might need to look into it. You might need to look into AA. So I'm just saying, it's not as simple as that, but then it kind of is. You know, you have to kind of evaluate yourself. And so to cope with your flaws, I mean, some things is just, I don't know if it's necessarily coping with the flaws, but coping with certain behaviors. I'm going to say that. Coping with certain behaviors that you have. Are you saying it to like, you're going to, because I feel like coping is something you plan to, like coping means if I'm coping with a flaw or behavior, I plan to keep the behavior. That's how I look at it.
Okay, I'm gonna reevaluate that word. Then I'm gonna take out coping.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, well, how do you fix the behavior? How do you change that behavior, or what are some things? How do you bring it to yourself first? And what steps do you think you can take to correct the behavior?
Okay, so I think that's acknowledgement. First, acknowledging like, hey, this is a behavior that I don't like. I notice that when I go to different places around different people, that I drink way too much than I would like to. And so I notice first trying to see, oh, you know what? I'm not going to drink this time. And if you feel like if you plan something like a drinking thing, I'm just using that. You plan not to drink at this party, and then you find yourself drinking. You might have to dig deeper into that and then see somebody about that. Because if you make up your mind to do something, you should stick to it, because you are in control of your body and the things that you want to do and the things you want for yourself. So identifying the behavior, seeing if it's something that you can change on your own. That's the first thing I want to say. I know a lot of times people go to these different coaches, life coaches and different things, but sometimes it's things that you can change on your own if you're willing to put in the effort and you're willing to put in the work. And so I think that's what it is. And then if you realize that you can't do it by yourself and you gave yourself time to adjust to the things that you normally would do, then maybe, it's okay to search out for help. Go speak with somebody who specializes in whatever it is that you're trying to change or fix about yourself. And then I think that's how you grow, to answer that question, to make that change. And don't make it as if like it's the end all or be all, but I think it's different from different people. Sometimes people have certain goals they want to meet and they just keep falling short every time. That doesn't really, I think you got to know yourself. Like, as I said, having self-evaluation checks is a good thing. Having people, like I said, receiving constructive criticism is a good thing. I'm not saying you got to agree with everything they say, but just kind of going back. Maybe you might want to talk to somebody that doesn't know you from Sam and just give them, a little tidbit of what you're having problems with. But addressing it, put it out in front, and then addressing it. And then I think try to make different moves in your life and to change that. And I think that was how you will grow. What do you think?
I think something you kind of touched on was about going to talk to somebody, and I do think that is I know, especially with us dudes, with guys at least, talking to somebody about an issue that we might have. First it's already hard to acknowledge that, okay, I might have a problem.
Correct.
All right, then actually being vulnerable to go and talk to somebody about that issue.
Because it's hard to admit that you got something that you're not like.
It really is.
It's hard to admit that sometimes, especially if something that you got to sit back and evaluate yourself.
But man, I'm messing up, so that's kind of. I know it is for guys, because we got pride and ego, and a lot of times we're supposed to be tough, and we're supposed to have it all together. But sometimes you do have to talk to somebody.
So I have a question. If you like what we're talking about now, as far as having a flaw or having something you want to change, I'm just speaking to you, as a guy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you would receive it better if a guy told you or if a woman told you?
That is difficult because no, it's not difficult. I probably receive it better if a woman told me. Let me tell you why. Because I really don't too much care what guys think about me. That's my unless you're a close friend.
Yeah.
Unless you're a close friend.
That's what I mean. Like if it's a friend.
If it's one of my close friends, like one of the people in my circle, then I'll probably sit down and listen a little bit more. But this is somebody that. Somebody at work, Johnny from work versus Sally from work. Right. And she's like, Sally, you kind of yada, yada, yada. I'll probably receive it better from her because, like, with guys, I really can care less.
Why do you think that is?
Because I like women, really. I know it sounds, like, barbaric and, kind of like, what's the word, cavemanish, but I'll listen more to what, she has my attention more.
Right.
Versus, Johnny, like, hey, man, I'm like, listen, Johnny, I don't really, I don't know you like that.
I'm not trying to impress you, Johnny. I'm trying to talk to Lisa.
I'm not here for you right now.
I'm trying to talk to Lisa.
I'm going to holler at Lisa. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to holler at Lisa over here. Like, that's just for me.
Yeah.
So I probably would receive it better if a female told me, simply because I'm probably more in tune in the conversation, especially if it's an older female, because I do get along with older people better. Yeah. I'll take that back. If it was an older gentleman, I would probably listen more too.
So it's not necessarily whether it's male or female; it's the age of the person that's telling you.
I'll put this: if I had to go in the bracket, older, male or female, then some random dude.
Right. Okay.
So if I had to, that's how I would break it down. If it was somebody older, because somebody older telling you, they live life. They know, they made their mistakes, and so you don't want to repeat the past type of thing. So they see you kind of train wrecking and somebody you kind of talk to. Because I do generally conversate better with older people on a regular basis than I do with somebody my age or younger. See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
I do get that.
So somebody older would have tell me, "Hey, you're messing up a little, young blood, young blood. Let me holler at you real quick. Young man. Let me holler at you real quick." And they tell me something like that. I'll probably be more receptive than if a dude my age, trying to come tell me, what's going on. Because I'm like, hey, did you just cheat on your girl like 2 weeks ago? Because how you going to come to me on a moral high ground?
Right, listen. So I got a question. Yeah. So let's say you have one of your friends that, like, doing whatever they're doing. Do you think that a person that is doing wrong can give advice or can tell you, like, give you advice about how to improve your life even though they're doing wrong? In that moment. Not in the past, but in that moment, they're doing wrong. Do you think that they can tell you, give you advice and you accept it?
It depends on the situation that we're talking about. If let's say somebody is bad with money, right?
Right.
I wouldn't take financial advice from them.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? But they might be good with.
So you saying if Bob lost, y'all know I have all these names in my head. If Bob lost $1 million and he come tell you, but he's a financial advisor, but he lost $1 million, you're not gonna take advice from Bob.
I probably wouldn't be very receptive from Bob. If Bob had to go on with that BS, because like Bob, you lost $1 million, Bob. But if Bob wanted to give me advice on, like, if I see Bob got a nice car, like, okay, like the old school muscle cars, right? And Bob's like, hey, I built that at my garage with my hands or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And Bob was like, yo, you should do this, that, and third to your car. And I know Bob built his car. Right. I'm like, yo, Bob, teach me how to do this, yada, yada, yada. One of my general flaws, and I hear this from people sometimes, is I can be bullheaded and stubborn. Valerie, you have something to say about that?
No, I do not.
So as I grow and as evolve into a stupendous young man, I'm trying to work on my bullheaded and stubbornness. And
but honestly, though, I just think, period, if you receive different things. I'm not saying you have to agree with everything somebody says to you, but like I was going back to, like, if you have an issue or something you're trying to change, if a lot of people are telling you something about you that spend multiple hours with you, they kind of they have your best interest at heart. I feel like it's okay to take their advice into consideration. I'm not saying you have to do everything they're said, but maybe you need to reevaluate it. Look back at yourself and like, dang, is this the only person telling me this? If it's multiple people, like I said, they don't know really each other. It's not like they're like getting together like, so and so is this way. It's okay to, like, I think that's the problem. Sometimes people are afraid to self-evaluate themselves and, like, evolve, like change it into a better person, or like trying to get to a higher self-awareness for yourself can only help you. You don't want to be like, okay, would you want to be 5, like how you thought when you were 5, and how you thought when you were 15, how you thought you were 25. Like, no, you want to keep involving. Like, you don't want to still think like Sesame Street is the bomb, which it is. But you don't want to still think Sesame Street is the bomb at like 20. You know, you want to evolve. That's my whole point. Like, the things you loved and you look forward to at 5, you don't look too forward to, most times. You don't look to and be anticipating that at 25. And then, you know, you have a family and things like that. So, I think you just have to kind of evaluate that part of it.
Okay, so I got a question for you.
Okay.
What is one of your flaws that somebody either whether you realize it about yourself or somebody told you that you think you had, and like what was one of the ways you dealt with it, or how did you kind of, you know? Because I got my own. I'll start off first, just so
okay.
You know. All right. So one of my notes kind of about myself is I have a explosive temper. It takes me a minute to get there.
I've never seen that.
Right. Well, you saw my...
Well, kind
yeah,
of.
okay.
So,
so it takes me a minute to get there, but then it's really one of those things where once I get there, it's like a switch, literally, to where there's no escalation, so to speak.
Okay.
So you're not like, oh, he's getting mad. All thing you realize is that obviously he pissed off.
So what have you done to try to change or curb kind of how you act when it happens?
One thing I did do, this is why I was trying to, like, when you brought up thinking about talking about, I actually went to therapy.
Oh, nice.
For
okay.
And did a few sessions of therapy, just talking to somebody about that kind of situation. Like, how can I, you know, avoid such explosive behavior, you know?
Is it something that you are holding, like you're holding on to something? Are you letting something build up and then you explode? Is that what it is?
I think it was to the point and that's why when people say you so quick to cut somebody off, it's not that I'm quick to cut somebody off. I don't want to keep having to pack stuff in. I'd rather not just deal with you.
Also, too, like, if you're not expressing that to the okay, so let's say, I'm just going to use this. Let's say somebody keeps parking in your parking spot. Like, it's known that, like, this is your parking spot, and they keep doing it. And you're just like, okay, I'm going to let it go. And then, like, on the 4th day, you just had enough. And then you see that person, and they don't know, because you haven't came to them and told them you parking.
Right.
You just go off. And they're like, okay, I ain't going to park in your parking spot.
That situation exactly is like, if you do it one day, I might say something to you. Not just parking, because I don't really care about parking, but just if you do something. No, I'm not saying parking. I'm just giving you an example. Like, yeah, if you do something one day, and I might let it, because I don't make a big deal out of the small petty things. But if you do it again, I might be like, okay, listen.
But see, that's what I'm saying. But okay,
but I might be like, listen, this, that, and the third, I have a problem with this. Because if you keep repellently doing it, it keep bugging me. But if I don't say something, no, that's my fault because I didn't say nothing to address it to begin with. Yeah. And then on the 6th time, I'm flipping tables over. You like, what's wrong with him? You know what I'm saying?
He's a lunatic.
Yeah, he's a lunatic. If you mix the barbecue sauce to the ranch one more time, I'm gonna have a problem. But you know, just situations like that. I actually went and talked to somebody. And it was more so just, hey, deal with the issue up front. Don't let it pack in. And not only just letting it pack in, I just noticed that address it ahead of time and try to resolve the issue.
Because most time I think too, when you're addressing something for the first time, most people, they're at a calmer state. When you're on the 5th time you telling somebody something, right? You're ready to lose it. You done told, like you said, you done had this whole conversation. You are not rational. You done had this whole conversation. You are going to look, if you about to go off. So, yeah, the first time is more like, hey, that's my parking spot. My name's right there. You know, I know for me, and I think for you, because we've had this conversation, when I have to tell somebody something that's like really apparent, like, for example, just using a parking spot, for example, I'm parking somewhere that has my name on it, and you're still parking there, and then I gotta go find you to move. But even though it's my first time, I'm still annoyed. I'm not going off on you, but I'm still annoyed because my name is there and it says parking for this person, but you're going to park there anyway. So, yeah, I have really low tolerance for people that I have to, like, continually tell something to, or not even continue. I got to tell you something the first time when, if you can read, everything's good. But, you know, I think, like, it is what it is. Like, some people will just try you, and some people will just put you in a situation. And then maybe somebody like, some people like, it could just be as simple as, I didn't even like pay attention to the name. I just hurry up and went in here real quick because I had to get whatever. You know, I don't care what the why. I just want you to stop doing it. Right. But to answer your question, I haven't had anything that I can remember somebody told me about myself maybe I should bring my younger sister on here. I'm sure she's like, well, let me tell you, I have a list. She have a scroll that she can just roll out. But
is that receipt paper?
Exactly. But I do think that, not asked it to one of my friends, I do think I tend to be judgmental without trying to be judgmental.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can settle on that. I tend to I think, and then honestly, I think it's the way I ask something. Because the way my head works is like, okay, I'm a solution-oriented person. Mm-hmm. So if you tell me a problem, I need to know. I don't really care like what involved in it, but like what's your end goal? What's your solution? So if you keep doing the same thing over and over, I'm just like, I'm bored. Like I'm burnt out. I'm bored of the conversation. Like we've already talked about this. Like that's something you got to work out. I'm not a therapist, but I am your friend, so I'll try to listen. But I don't really care because I guess because I'm hard on myself about things. Like when I do something that I say I'm not gonna do, then I'm like, okay, valid. I don't go and talk to nobody else about like, oh, girl, let me tell you what I did, or let me tell you what. I don't do that. I have a conversation with myself. I feel like that part about me, I'm very self-aware. So I'll be like, man, you said you weren't gonna look, you tripping. You gonna have to. So I get restrictions to myself, mm-hmm. And so I guess I feel like maybe people should do that too. So that's why I feel like if you're talking to me about something and you already said these are the steps you're gonna take, because when most of my friends or whoever I'm talking to talk to me, they'll tell me what the issue is, and then I'll say, okay, so what you want to change, or do you like what is your plan? And then if they have a plan, I expect them to do the plan. So when they come back and they do the plan, I'm like well, why we doing how we have this conversation?
45 minutes of my time,
right? And I could tell that maybe in that situation, I probably seem judgmental. But I mean, and to be honest with you, I have not changed that. But I still like.
Do you have a problem?
I don't think I do. But I still have. Let me tell you why.
Take your AA chip away from you, because you was.
People still come to me, but they still come to me like I'm real as much as I'm gonna be. I'm not trying to hurt nobody's feelings, but. Because listen, when somebody tell me something about myself, I'm like, for real? And then I'm like, okay, so I try to go back to go up the drawing board real quick, like, okay, especially if it's something I really don't realize. Now, if it's something that I know I kind of do, like I say, the judgmental thing, I'll be like, okay, well, I'll try to, so listen, though. I've been had some, like, let's say that I feel like I'm judgmental, and somebody will say that maybe, say it but not really say it. Okay, so when we having a conversation, the conversation going to be real, on my end, going to be real dry. I'm just going to be like, oh, okay. I'm not gonna give you, but they're expecting me to give them feedback. But wait a minute, you all want my feedback because you think I'm judgmental. So that's why they're like, Valerie, you there? I'm like, yeah, I'm here. And they're like, what you think? I'm like, I don't know. Whatever you want to do. So that's how I try to rectify it. Because if I say something, you might feel like I'm being judgmental towards you. So I'd rather just not say anything and just listen. I'm just a listening ear, and I'm just like, oh, okay. All right, then. Next, let's move on to another topic. That's how I feel. I
think my thing is I have to, if somebody else is coming to me about it, like I said, I have to care enough about that person.
Oh, God.
I'm just being real. I have to care. If you come to me, Cadero, I think you're mean. I'm like, who are you again? Like
you're not in my database.
You're not in my Rolodex of friends, so I don't really care if you think I'm because I don't have to deal. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not here being a complete butthole to somebody.
Maybe you are.
Put a pin in that. Listen, but I really have to actually care about, because only certain people know me on a certain level, so I have to actually care about your opinion of me in order for me to change. I know that sounds bad. I know, and now I'm saying it actually sounds like really bad. But that's what it is. I think because I don't think I'm a complete butthole. Now, different people have told me that, but it hasn't been on. I'm being a butthole to you on a whim. If I'm being stern with you or something like that, it's because either you displayed a behavior or something that I'm just like, okay, I can't deal with it. If you real gossipy, chatty, you give a lot of negativity, I'm gonna be real. What's the term they call it? Real short with you.
Yeah.
Conversation can be real short, and that's another thing.
I think it's just a patient thing. Maybe you don't have a lot of patience for different things.
I don't have a lot of patience with things. Even though I don't have a lot of patience. I don't have a lot of patience with BS. So one thing we're going to talk about is one thing I cannot stand is controlling behavior or people with controlling personalities. How do you typically deal with controlling? Because you have people at work who think they have of manager status, but they are not of manager material or title. Or just somebody in your life in general who has a very controlling personality.
Okay, so I'll go with kind of the workplace because, to be honest, I don't have anybody, thankfully, I don't have anybody in my life that I feel like is a controlling individual. And, whether it's family or friends, I don't really feel like that. I kind of am, I have my own little oasis of how I deal with things and how the people, what I allowed to penetrate into my brain about certain things. And so if you're telling me something I don't want to hear, then it's kind of like, okay. I mean, when it's in a controlling fashion. But as far as workplace goes, I'll be honest. A lot of my friends probably, if they're watching this, they'll know or listen to this. They'll know my thing is okay. My okay is like, yeah, I'll do it. Like, so if somebody's coming over to me like, I need you to do X, Y, and Z, I'm saying, yeah, okay, or okay, sure. And I'm going to do it because you're the manager or whatever. However, if you're not the manager and you're not in any managerial title, I probably would just stare at you.
There we go. That's what I want. That's what I want.
I'm not sure what. Like I said, I think people. Okay, let me just say this.
She's like, who you talking to?
People know. People that's in that kind, like, they don't have the title, but they do, like, controlling behaviors. I think they know who they can do that to. Like, I think they prey on people that they feel like they can talk down to or control or get them to do their work or something. I don't know. I've never really been in that kind of situation. Now, I have had, so I'm going to speak more on the manager side. I have had managers that don't know really what they're doing, and they come to me and tell me I'm going to do like 90 different things, and I'll just say, oh, okay. And then sometimes I'll say, can you explain that? And they're looking at me like, well, no, I'm not trying to explain it to you. I just want you to do it. I'm like, well, so we end up having a problem there. But I think how you deal with that person is, I'm just speaking work related. I like to get a hard copy on everything or like email. So I will email back my manager, and if I'm not sure of something, I'm going to say, hey, is this what you want? And then I have a list. Because if I have a conversation with you, and you might say, that's not what I said. But no, here's my email is what I typed back to you, and you agreed to that's what it said. Or, it's kind of like that. It's kind of that CYA, cover your own, And so that's kind of how I deal with people like that in the workplace. But I have not had... like controlling an individual like that, like people that think they managers and not, I haven't really dealt with that, to be honest with you. But I feel like if I did, I feel like I would address it head on and like, what is it that you're asking me? Like, who told you to do this? Like, I already have my task for the day, so do you need help with something that you need help? Like, it's a way you can ask something and make somebody feel stupid without really
you call it nice,
them.
nasty, they call it that.
That ain't even nasty. It's just like, what are you talking about? I'm sorry, I'm confused. Can you help me? Like, I'm not sure what it is that you need me to do. Those are kind of how I move. I mean, and if it's like, help me understand where you're trying to go and what you're trying to talk about. Because I think the controlling thing is more of when they feel like you're going to fight them back on something, so they got to give you all this attitude. I'm not, that's the one thing I'm not going to give you, especially if you're a supervisor. I'm not going to give you too much attitude. I feel like I'm going to do my work, and then I'm going to ask you if I need help or ask you to clarify something. But I'm pretty much, I can work independently very well or with a team. So, I don't know really. Yeah.
Okay. What
about you? How does that affect?
Well, I have a problem with
authority.
I need to know why. So if somebody, like, especially
even from the manager, yes, tell the truth. Tell the truth and shame the devil.
It gotta make sense. It just gotta make sense to me, and I know that's probably.
But listen, what if, even though for you it gotta make sense, what if this is the way you do it, and it makes your job go by quicker? It makes your day go by faster. It makes you save 15 minutes off your day instead of going and talk to them Instead of going to talk to your manager and asking him all these questions, what if you could just do what he says, even though you think it's stupid, you do what he says, and then all of a sudden you leave 15 minutes early.
Well, I mean, if it's gonna save me time, then to me that makes sense. So I'm gonna do that particular thing. Okay, I'm gonna give you a situation. So I was working at this retail store. We're gonna keep the name on the low. And I was new. I only been about 3 weeks or whatever. But we had this individual there who was he'd been in the department for a minute. You know. So I'm doing this, doing that, or whatever, and I'm picking up boxes and working, doing something. And this person decided to come up and was like, hey, this, that, and the third, do this, and the third, this, and the third. And I looked at this person, and now they're not a manager, so to speak. And so they give me all these tasks and lists of commands. And my first question in my mouth was, what are you doing?
That's what you said?
Yeah, I'm dead serious. I was like, what are you doing? And this person stuck and they froze because they couldn't believe, the new guy's questioning me, because in my mind, you see me working right now. I'm not standing still or idle. Right? And you come to me with 20 more things to do, especially I get off in 20 minutes.
Oh, well, yeah, you didn't say that. Okay,
so I'm like, what are you doing? Because you can be doing 5 of the tasks you listed. You can be doing 3 of them while I'm lifting these boxes. So what are you doing? And they just kind of stuck, froze, and, eventually just kind of walked, because I looked at them like I wanted a response to this question. And that was the end. That's the last time that they came to me with any of that nonsense.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you're the new guy, so somebody had to come and try you to see what the situation was going to be. And then when they seen that you was like, oh, no, I need,
Exactly. I'm gonna need some kind of
Like, I need some reason behind it. Then it's like, oh, okay. But I think people do that just out of, do you have some people that, like, got, it's like different personality, like type A, type B, all that stuff. I think different people got different personalities, and when they feel like, even if they ain't a manager, they feel like they have something to say, they try to say it. But yeah, I think I don't try to let people get under my skin whether they're a manager or not. I try not to. I'm not saying it never happens, because I've had my share, but I just feel like you gotta pick and choose your battle. So if you come to me and I know you're not a manager and you're asking me to do something that, especially if it's supposed to be your task, or I'm leaving in 10 minutes, there's no way that's gonna happen. Like,
right.
It's not going down like that. So I don't know. I'm not sure. You might gonna ask the next person, but that's not.
I ain't ready to do
with me, it's not gonna, and I'm not gonna worry too much about it. I might say what, and then that's why I kind of just look, because I'm processing. I'm like do negative, like it's not happening. So yeah, that's how I feel about that.
I think the biggest thing that I and that's what I had was when you generally. You tell somebody, like the word no in a sense, and I swear to you, saying the word no to people, it almost like a shock to their system.
Yeah.
Because if you like, oh, Cadero, do this and the third, yada, yada, I'm like, no.
Well, I think it depends on, because that could be you subordinate when you termination. Depends on who you tell it to, and I think
I got written up for that too. At one point.
I wonder why.
Insubordination.
I wonder why insubordination.
One of my other jobs.
Right. I wonder.
I might have a problem.
You may have a problem. You may need to go back to that therapist.
All right, so Valerie, I might have a problem.
Yeah,
then. I think
we all got like my niece said, we all got problems. Like it's things that we just kind of. I think the gist of the thing is like, don't let things that shouldn't really bother you, even if it's a personality or somebody telling you or trying to be controlling or whatever the case, don't let that situation be like how you proceed. Like, just keep it moving. Some of the stuff is not even worth a bat of an eyelash or a mention or anything like that. It's just like, don't get too wrapped up into it, and simply saying no. Like, I think shutting somebody down by saying no, that's not really what that is. Like, that's not my job description, or oh, hey, yeah, I'm already doing this. So, I like I said, don't have a problem with teamwork, but I understand what you're saying. Like, if you got 10 minutes left in your job and a manager has already told you to finish up this, somebody coming down to somewhere else to tell you, to your station or whatever the case may be, telling you to do this, you're like, well, you're not a manager. Did the manager? Most times I say, well, did the manager tell you this? And if they say no, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, they told me to do this.
Yeah, I guess this one thing was, when I say like no, and I think it's because you're not a manager, I feel like no, and then I don't
That's
owe
sure
you.
I don't give the
I don't
authority
owe
thing,
you an
right?
explanation for anything at this point because in 10 minutes, whatever you say is irrelevant after these next 10 minutes. You understand?
But yeah, I do think sometimes though, you know, you can get closer to, you know, sometimes you get closer to if it's a coworker that's not like a butthole, you can get closer. Like sometimes you can help somebody out, and they're like, "Oh man, you helped me out. I was leaving, and I needed to knock this out, and I needed some help." I don't know. Or maybe somebody, I don't know. I don't know about that one. Yeah, that's not really. I've just always shot down the situation of somebody trying to control what I do.
Mm-hmm.
If they're, like I said, if they're not in some kind of authority figure role or something like that, and they're just trying to tell me what to do just to do it. That
Power
really,
hungry.
Power hungry. That rarely happens to me. But I mean, I kind of address it then. I think that's the thing too. I think that's why because I probably give off a certain air about myself anyway, like, oh, well, we can't play with her. But even if they did say something to me, I feel like it's okay to just let somebody know, like, well, hey, I'm already working on this. And like, well, no, did the manager tell you this? Or, well, I'm okay. Yeah, so that's how I feel about that.
All right, cool. Well, we gonna get ready to wrap this on up. I do have another question for you all at the end here. Once again, put your comments below there. And my question is, when you are initially talking or dating somebody or something to that nature, how do you look at it? Do you look at it as in the form of what can I do for them or what can they do for me?
Okay.
Type of mentality, or do you look at it both ways? You know, what do you initially lead with when you're talking to somebody like, hey, this person has, I don't know, a certain amount of resources, yada yada yada. Do you go into the mentality of, hey, what can this person provide for me in my life, or do you say, what can I provide for this person in their life? So, just something. Let's say, put your comments put your comments below and let us know what you think.
You can also put your comments in our Twitter. Hit us up on Twitter, and Instagram, of course, and YouTube in the bottom. What are your thoughts on that? I want to give a quick shout out or mention. If you notice, if you're watching or listening to it, just watching the screen on the YouTube, you'll see that our background has changed. We've got it updated a little bit more clearer. The white background was pretty much like washing everything out. And I just want to say thank you to Keith. He does design, media, marketing, things like that. So if you want to contact him about anything that you have social media wise or background designs, web media, he's really good with that. And he'll talk with you, and then you can tell him what you want, and then he'll go back and forth. He'll give you like, is this something? The communication with him is really well. And so I'm going to put his contact information at the bottom. And if you're looking for somebody that can do web design or media with social media or anything like that, you can contact him or let your friends know. All right, that's all that we have for today. Until next time, keep up with us on our social media platforms. Again, it's on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And also, we have merchandise on Teespring. Take a look at it, browse it, let your friends know, share and share and share. And we thank you guys.